Hello and welcome to the Modernize or Die podcast. It is August 5th, 2025. This is episode 238. My name is Eric Peterson and I'm joined today by Grant Copley. How you doing, Grant?
Hey, doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. It's crazy to think we're in August already.
I know, and if you have kids, they're probably starting school. So my daughter just started her school today, so summer is ending.
It's true. My kids got 2 more weeks left and we're both counting down for different reasons. Well, hope your summer has gone well, all of you out there listening, and thanks for joining us today. We want to start by thanking our sponsor, Ortus Solutions, and tell you a little bit about a upcoming workshop that we have.
So this episode is sponsored by CBWire, which is the one of the fastest ways to build reactive modern UIs without leaving your CFML server. So as many of you probably know, I'm the lead on CBWire, so it felt appropriate for me to tell you about it this morning. But you can forget about front-end frameworks and endless JavaScript. CBWire tries to simplify all that for you. And if you're interested in it, we've got a 2-day CBWire workshop that's going to be right after Adobe CFSummit 2025. So it will be led by yours truly and Luis Majano. And if you attend, it is a 2-day workshop and you get a hands-on experience, and we're going to do a deep dive into anything and everything CBWire. So would love for you to attend. That's September 24th and 25th in Las Vegas.
Awesome. That sounds like a great time.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, let's jump into some news. Let's tell you about some BoxLang things this week. We'll start with a community post from Ray Camden about simple charting with BoxLang. I actually really liked his opening here. If you pull it open, he says, building a BoxLang app and want to know how to do charting with it? The answer is simple. Don't. Which you might be sitting there thinking, wait, what? But the idea is charting, for the most part, is a front end concern, and your users are going to want interactive charts so they can hover and click around and drill down, and you just can't do that without going into JavaScript. So just use JavaScript. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, but I want to print this, I want it generated in a PDF, I would point you to tools like UK HTML to PDF, which is a mouthful, but it's a open source tool to basically run your web page and take a PDF screenshot of it, for lack of a better word. There's even a ForgeBox module out there made by the InLeak group that works with a Docker container, so you can easily make those PDFs. Then it goes through, here's how you provide data to the chart and initialize that with JavaScript. And I believe there is a a BoxLang chart library slated for development when somebody that is a paying subscriber wants it. So until then, uh, keep your life simple. I know one of my previous jobs, we loved HighCharts was the charting library we used, and it could do a ton of stuff. Once you got the data, here's a map of things and you can click on it and drill down to the countries, and then the countries you can see numbers and heat maps on the map, and it's yeah. So
I
there's
think
lots of
part of the issue nowadays is there's so many out there,
true.
is trying to figure out which one to go with.
It's true, and it also depends on your budget, right? Like HighCharts is not free. Chart.js is I think what Ray was using, which is really great for a fully open source and free chart library. So, I mean, start there if you need something, and then look at other ones if you need that. So, great little blog post there about charting and BoxLang. We had a couple of releases as well. BoxLang 1.4 is out, and it is being billed as the biggest release yet. I'm guessing that means biggest release since 1.0, since I think 1.0, a whole language, is a pretty big release.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. But yeah, this is a big one. So we're going to post the link here, but just some of the highlights from the release. New async primitives, so things like async run, async all, async any, all kinds of asynchronous goodness they've put into this release. There's been some improvements with mini server. So I see here environment variables, health checks, additional security protections. Looks like there's a lot of changes there. Performance improvements with strings and JSON and custom component lookups. Tons of bug fixes. Actually, I've got hundreds of bug fixes here. I don't know if that's literally, but
That
It
is
might.
what was listed. I'm sure if
Okay.
we open Jira, we could see it, but yes, it says hundreds of issues.
Yeah. And then it looks like new documentation, which I know that they've been pretty busy with that stuff. So everything from the mini server to transactions and all that good stuff. So yeah, really big release, and I'm excited to check it out.
I think my favorite here it has to be the async stuff. Having dealt with it across multiple engines now, you appreciate the power that BoxLang hands you. It's very simple when that's all you need, and then you can dive into basically the whole power of Java completable features underneath when you need it. So that's great. And we also had one more release in a BoxLang module, the BoxLang JSoup module. JSoup is a library, a Java library used to parse HTML. You can use it to grab data out that you need. You can use it to clean HTML if you're, accepting user content and you need to make sure to sanitize that. You could do a lot with even with pipelines. I've seen things transforming HTML into structured JSON, which is pretty crazy. All built in. Huge power of BoxLang is how easy it is to tap into Java, and even easier when you install a module that gets that jar for you and gives you a couple of built-in functions to start dealing with JSoup documents. So if you're in BoxLang, this probably supplants is it CBJSoup on ForgeBox? There's one. I don't know. I made one. I thought maybe I used somebody else's. Let's see. No, I must have used somebody else's.
I
Don
just assumed,
Bellamy.
Eric, that you had really done all of the modules that are in
No,
existence. You've done a bunch.
no, I have. I used JSoup way back in the way to make a um, integrated testing library where you could basically say, hey, visit this page, type this, type that, press this button. Kind of like you would think like Cypress or Playwright tests, but it was all just static HTML. It wasn't running a browser. It wasn't clicking. It was using JSoup to basically say, make sure this form field exists that he said type into, store this data, get ready to send it off. Like, it hasn't seen updates since, I don't know, 2020. It probably works, but yeah, I tend to need JavaScript support nowadays, so Playwright's kind of my thing for that. But JSoup was very good on that, and there is a ColdBox JSoup module. Don Bellamy wrapped that up. So if you're not on BoxLang, CB JSoup, and if you're on BoxLang, BX JSoup. All right, should we talk about some CFML updates? I grabbed one out. When I was looking today, I saw a question on the community forum and posted an answer, so I figured I'd bring it up. It was about handling custom JWT claims in CB Security. So CB Security has built-in JWT support, JSON Web Tokens, and claims in those tokens is basically any data that you want to put in. And when you decode the token, you can see that data. The JSON Web Token, for those that haven't used it, is just a serialized JSON object that includes a signature so you can verify that it hasn't been tampered with and that you can trust that data. And you can put anything you want in those custom claims. And this person was asking how to do that in CB Security. So I was pointing out there are two main ways. One is your subject that's being logged in or that's having the token created for it. Has two methods that will be called on it. There's a get JWT custom claims and a get JWT scopes. So that custom claims is a perfect place to take the struct that passes you, add anything else you want, and send it back. So if your claims are per user, that's a perfect place. And then when you are logging in, the attempt and the from user methods both accept custom claims being passed in. For one client, we use that to look at a remember me token. And if it's checked, we up the timeout, right? We pass in a higher timeout that gets merged in. So those are two ways that you can adjust the custom claims based on where you need in your application.
Very nice. All right. And we also have an update from Ben Nadell. We've got a blog on explicit arguments always override argument collection. So I did not know this, and I do this all the time. I use argument collection. So if you don't know, when you are passing arguments to a function in CFML, you can pass them all. You can do them individually, or you can do it all at once in this argument called argument collection. And apparently there's a little more to it than that, according to Ben's blog post. So you can not only pass argument collection and then pass in a series of arguments, but then in addition to that, you can actually pass additional arguments that end up overriding what you're sending in argument collection. So this is one of those things, like, as long as I've been doing this, I don't think I've ever had an instance where I was trying to pass in something other than just argument collection, because I didn't know that you could. I just always assumed that it was just you had to put everything in argument collection. So anyway, it's been blogged on that. We'll post the link here. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like a weird spread operator, right, in JavaScript where you can, depending on if you put the keys before or after they get overridden. But in this case, explicit keys always overwrite argument collection. Yeah, I'm
I
with
would
you.
be
I
curious
do.
to see if that's consistent across the CFML engines, but I'm assuming it is.
Question. Ben usually puts in a couple, but in this case, he only has a screenshot from Adobe. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep doing what I do, which is build up that argument collection struct beforehand and handle overrides in the order I want so I can remember why it's happening.
Yeah, let's go.
So, but yeah. Also from Ben this last few weeks was creating runtime extensions and polyfills in Cold Fusion. I think this is a very classic Ben post where he goes through kind of setting up a framework so that you can inject these methods in a clean and also bounded way so they don't become like global and polluting your variable scope or anything like that. So he goes through a few and like putting in a system output or dump polyfill, right? You can use those in BoxLang and in Lucy, but not in Adobe. And so there's a way to add that. It reminded me a lot of things that Wirebox does with its runtime mixins, or even ColdBox has application helpers or view helpers that you can register and get put in every file. It's interesting. Part of the reason that he wanted to go through this was I guess his work has a global function E, just the letter E, as an alias for encode for HTML. He was maybe I don't know if frustrated is the right word, but saying like, how do you know what that is? They seem mysterious, they seem surprising, and this whole exercise was how to make that more explicit so you know where all these are coming from. And I think that's one thing I like about ColdBox is at first it kind of feels mysterious, but once you learn here's where the framework grabs all those functions from, and if I add a function here, it now appears, like it becomes less mysterious. So in all, we're all creating a framework, and there's always some learning curve to get up to speed on that. And until then, some things just seem like magic. But once you understand the magic, then you can extend it and augment it for your own needs.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Should we talk about some events that are coming up?
All right. So in case you missed it, build a BoxLang app webinar with Raymond Camden. We'll post the link there. So if you didn't get a chance to see that, go check it out.
And I think there's going to be a few of these because this is listed as part 1 of 3.
Ooh.
Part 2 and 3 supposedly coming to you soon. but not in August, because August we have a different webinar. We have Leveling Up Your Async Game with BoxLang, presented by John Clausen.
Very nice.
This is going to be August 20th at 11 a.m. Central Time. It is free. You can register at Eventbrite, and we'll put the link to the blog post in the show notes.
Yeah, so I'm assuming he's going to be covering all the async goodies that just came out.
That, and I know there's a lot that came out before, like John specifically worked on the virtual thread support, which is normal Java threads. And so anything async worked on actual platform threads, right? Like how many threads your computer had access to, and you can saturate those. Virtual threads is I want to run this asynchronously. It doesn't need its own dedicated platform thread. It can share them. And so you can now have hundreds of threads, virtual threads running without, bogging down the JVM and causing performance issues. So he worked on that part. You can access virtual threads in BoxLang. So I'm sure that's going to be part of it as well. So that's going to be one not to miss, especially if you're like, I haven't really gotten into the async stuff. Like it can change your code dramatically, and the tools in BoxLang make it so easy to use without some of the normal headaches that the other CFML engines tend to have. We also have Adobe ColdFusion Summit 2025 coming up. We talked about it briefly, September 22nd and 23rd. There is a certification available on either the 21st or 24th. Tickets are still available at cfsummit.adobeevents.com. If you are doing the certification, you're going to want to go on the first before the conference, so that way you're available for the Ortus training afterwards on the 24th and 25th that we talked about. That's that CBWire Workshop led by Grant here and Luis. Make sure to grab tickets to that. It's going to be great, and you'll have a wonderful week of CF and BoxLang learning.
Yeah. So, and I really enjoy, we did the workshop at End of the Box and loved it. The only downside to it was trying to fit everything into one day. And I'm pretty excited that this is going to be a 2-day workshop because it's really going to give us time to really dig into it. So we've got that. And then already, I can't believe this, End of the Box 2026 is now out. Our call for speakers is open. So if you are interested in being a speaker, we would love to hear from you.
I can't wait to see what awesome BoxLang stuff comes out. It's like we open this entirely new avenue of creativity. It's not just ColdBox and other box goodness, it's BoxLang.
Yeah, and being able to extend the language, and yeah, it's going to be interesting.
That is April 29th through May 1st is Into the Box. There will be some workshops before then as well. The call for speakers is open until November 15th. So you've got some time. Go ahead and submit those topics. We're very excited to see what you come up with. Speaking of Into the Box, the video series for Into the Box 2025 is live on CFcasts for all attendees. If you are just a CFcast subscriber or not a subscriber and you want access to this, you can purchase it at a premium right now. CFcast subscribers will be getting access later this year on November 1st. And Patreons also have free access as a token of appreciation for their ongoing support. If you are in any of the groups that should have free access and don't, please drop us a line so we could get you all set up on that. Additionally, we have some YouTube links and a blog post that will take you to the CF Camp slides and recordings that Ortus was in charge of. That would include a few sessions there, as well as the keynote for, I think, day 2, one of the days. So lots to catch up on if you've missed some of these events. Better to just come to them in person next year, right? Get your tickets now. Day 1 keynote. I was wrong. Day 1 keynote.
Awesome. All right. Well, we got through this one pretty quick.
We did. We don't want to waste any of your time today.
We didn't.
Other days we'll waste your time, but not today.
Well, we definitely don't want to leave without giving a huge thanks to our Patreon supporters. So these are individuals that are personally supporting our open source initiatives to support things like CommandBox, ForgeBox, ColdBox, ContentBox, all the boxes, and help us do continued development on those. So your contributions fund our cloud infrastructure for the community, things like ForgeBox and package management with CommandBox. And we're going to post a link where you can, if you're interested in being a Patreon, you can join us. And we have annual memberships. You pay for the year and you can save 10%. It's great for businesses. And I think we've got different packages. We've got like a bronze package and up. Bronze packages and up now get a ForgeBox Pro and CFcast subscription with your Patreon subscription. All Patreon supporters, they get a profile badge on the community website and private forum access on the community website, and then also a private channel in our Box Team Slack, which we are always active on, always on the Slack. And so thank you again to all of our Patreons for supporting what we do. And I think we are up to 61 now. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, thank you guys.
And thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to our live viewers. And thank you to you listening wherever you listen to your fine podcasts. We'll be catching you again in 2 weeks. We'll see you then.
Bye, everyone.